Norm, are you sticking around? Wow. Double surprise, triple surprise today. We have Noam Fix for the first time since COVID-19. And we have Mati and his son Chaim. Tremendous treats. Shkoyach. So we have a chabura of guys in Crown Heights that watch. And the Rosh Chabura, the self-proclaimed Rosh Chabura, Shlomi Klein, he's sponsoring... it's going to be on YouTube. He's sponsoring today's daf. L'zichro in Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Goyin Yisrael v'tefartoi, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, Hadmor Milubavitch, Schusoi Yogoin Aleinu, Shlomi Klein. Everybody could, listen, here you have a human being who, on his own, by himself, literally changed the world. We could all learn how every person, I'm not saying you have those koiches, but in the koiches that you have, you could change the world. Today's shir is being sponsored, L'Refuah Shlema, of Abigail Sarah Bas Malka Doba. Talking about the Lubavitcher Rebbe, we have a picture of the Lubavitcher Rebbe and our own Avi Kamiansky. You see that? You've seen it? It's hanging in his office, believe it or not. He looks just like Shaya. We also have another picture of their own Kornbluth in the Kinneret, barefoot, learning the daf. He's following the shir. Beautiful picture of the Kinneret. Haven't been there in years. Zev Roth writes as follows, Rebelli, I don't know how well I'll remember the methods to assist, 11 methods to assist a Zava from yesterday's Daf Shabbos, Kuf Yud, but I feel I'll never forget Remy Menson and the horse story. Zev Roth. I don't see okay, I have to look over here. I don't see the clock. Dear Rebelli, due to the insane traffic that plagues Lakewood, my drives to and from yeshiva can take upwards of an hour. Where does this get? Like within Lakewood, it's an hour? An hour. So walk, take a bike, whatever. It used to be such a nuisance. Now the traffic is halig. Without it, I won't finish your shir with admiration. Yitzi from Lakewood. A lot of people were wondering who this fellow was on Zoom. I see him often on Zoom, and here's an email from him. Hi, Rebbe Eli. I think you have a great community. The MDY community has been very welcoming and accommodating. I've been attending Zoom daf for a few weeks now, and it has become a part of my morning routine. It has revived me and brought me back to life and given me a reason to wake up early again, as I felt stuck in a rut since South Africa is on a lockdown and shuls are closed. Many people on Zoom have reached out and welcomed me and wanted to find out who I am. I learned daf with my rabbi every night, and the pictures have helped us a lot and made a big difference. Thank you for all that you do. I daven and learn at Koilel, and I'm almost at the end of my conversion process. I'm at the finishing line, and I plan to become a full-day learner after my conversion. And Be'ezras Hashem, one day I'll be like you. Lev, is that how you pronounce it? Lev, here he is, with his tzitzis, the whole deal. All right. On Sunday, we started with we had another ger. You can't get to South Africa these days. All right. Zogt the Heilige Gemara. Today is Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, and we're starting from Daf Kuf Yud Amud Beis. It's actually a very, very big sugya. It looks like it's only 5 lines, but it's a very big sugya. We learned in the Mishnah that May Ikarin, these waters that have roots in them, but they also have another name, Ikarin. Ikarin means a akar, sterile. You drink this stuff to get rid of jaundice. What does it say? We learned, liyarkoina trey. You use 2 out of the 3 ingredients. What are the ingredients? We had the Alexandria gum sap thing, alum, and saffron. 2 out of the 3 is enough to get rid of jaundice. However, it has a little bit of a side effect, not a very pleasant one, and you have to cook this up with b'sheichar, with beer, and umiyaker. Person will never have children again. Ask the Gemara. So you're not allowed to drink this on Shabbos, but on Sunday, Monday, you could drink it. Umi shari. Why is it mutter? Vatanya menayin l'sirus b'adam shu asur. How do we know that you're not allowed to be misaris a human being? Tamaloi ma'u ba'artzachem lisasu. B'chem lisasu. Here's the pasuk. It's a very interesting pasuk. It has this arichos, umoch, squeezed, v'chasus, crushed, v'nosuk, detached, v'charus, cut. Loi sakrivu l'Hashem. If this is an animal, you're not allowed to be makriv of an animal that has beitzim that are squeezed, crushed, detached, and cut. And then it says v'artzachem lisasu. But this is not halacha in Eretz Yisrael. This is halacha throughout the world. In fact, in Taisus brings here, if people have a doubt, because we discussed it once, you can look in Taisus Dibur Masal Tam Eloim v'artzachem lisasu. This is for Yaakov and for some other guys here that have dogs. I Baruch Hashem, whatever. V'ha'adam b'chagig yishal has been zoyma mal sarusei kalba. They're allowed to castrate a dog. It's very normal. That's the otherwise have a mishugan in your house. Tell me about it. Omar lehu ba'artzachem lisasu. Culture ba'artzachem lisasu. It's isidei raisa to what's the word? No, there's a neuter. That's the word I was thinking. Fine. Yeah, but you're an author. You should know these things. Of course, he knows. See, I'm not the only one that loses words here. Uba'artzachem. How do we learn it? So Taisus explains. So you have eretz. That means animals. Chem. You have an isser to do it on yourself. The isser to castrate a human being. This is the Raisa. So Mela, how could I drink this stuff? That's ma'aker. Says the Gemara, so the Gemara wants a taina, perhaps I'm drinking it, and it just happens, I'm taking care of my jaundice, and then another part of my body is affected. The issue there is when I affect that part, I go and I castrate that part. But here is derech hagav. Dober Yochanan haroitz she says tarnagol yitol karbaltoi. If a person wants to castrate a chicken, a rooster, you get rid of this guy, carboilus, and if you can't find it, might be on. Oh, this is brachas daf zayin. Sorry, brachas daf zayin. It's going to take a while for you to find it now. He'll be castrated. So you see that you're allowed to manipulate this part of the body, his head, and another part becomes castrated. So the Gemara, not true. If you take off his crest, his crown, remus rucho u'dinakitale. You're just getting rid of his pride. He has a gaiva. And he's going to sit, and he's going to, says Rashi, he's going to be ba'avelus. He's misabel. He feels it. How does he know? You cut off his thing. So he feels like, he feels small again. He doesn't have a crown. He doesn't feel like getting married. But says Rashi, if you were physically going to castrate him, then that would be usher. But you didn't do anything physical. It's a mental thing. He has a mental block. That's his problem. You didn't castrate him. So when I was learning this, I was thinking about this. We look at the chicken. I was looking at the chicken like I was looking down at him. It's like shaita. So guy cut off a little bit of your crown. So that's why you're not going to get married. That's why when you die, nobody's going to say kaddish over you. I mean, you don't have a family anymore. Who are you? You're nothing. And then I realized that we're much worse than that. If somebody says a not nice word to you, you get all bent out of shape. Some people don't talk to each other for 30, 40 years from one word. And if a chicken said something not nice to the rooster, you wouldn't care. You just look the other way. You see all the time, animals fight, they grab a piece from them, and they're friends. But if you do something physical to him, you took off his whole thing, okay, fine. He has a much better reason than us. Yeah? Families, mamish, not talking for 40, 50 years, for one sentence, one word that somebody once said. A word. So they look down at us. We're funny, not them. Says the Gemara, V'omar Rav Ashur Zrucha. Okay. V'omar B'chia Bar Abba, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Hakol Moedim, skip something here. Ela B'saris. We must be discussing a case where a person is already a saris. So he didn't add anything. He drank this drink. By the way, you got to check your drinks here. Last night, we had a guy that was hyperactive. He came in, and Yeshua gave him a drink, and he started drinking. Like halfway through, he realized that Yeshua filled it up with liquor. I'm not kidding. Put in whiskey, and he's actually well behaved for the rest of the year. So I'm just saying, if you get served, especially if it's red, be ma'ayin. What's going on? Where is he? He's not here. Good. Fine. Haroiz Yisaris, if you're here at night, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Haroiz Yisaris, Tarnagol, fine. Elabasaris. We're talking about a guy who's a saris. Ask the Gemara of Omer B'chia Barabba and Rabbi Yochanan. Hakol moedim b'mechametz achar mechametz shu chayov. So the whole sugya we once had in B'chayres, if a person made a mum on an animal, on a bechar, and then a second person comes along and adds to that mum, is he also over? You already made a mum, you can't bring him on the car. But everybody agrees, b'mechametz achar mechametz, that if you cause chametz to a mincha, you bring a mincha, you bring some bread to the Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to create chametz. Some of them are chametz, some of them are matzah, but on the ones that are not chametz, it's the rice to make it chametz. What happens if a second guy comes along, and he needs the bread, and the third guy comes along and he makes the shape, and the fourth guy puts it, each guy is over. Everybody agrees, mechametz archam mechametz, you are over. Shenemar lo yisaf chametz. Lo yisay asa chametz, it says twice. Lo yisay afa, you shouldn't bake. Lo yisay asa, you shouldn't do. Kitzer, each one is chayiv. And everybody agrees, b'misares acham misares shu chayiv. And everybody agrees that if you are misaris, somebody that's already misuris, like in our case, we said he's already a saris, he is chayiv. Shenemar, u'mauch v'kasas v'nasik v'charos. It says all these things, squeezed, crushed, detached, and cut. Now, if detached, ask the Gemara, detached, it's still hanging a little bit, but it's detached, you're chayiv, so certainly, if you cut it completely, so why does the Torah have to add that? Says the Gemara, detach it completely. To say that he is chayiv. If somebody went along and did step number 1, he detached it, and then he came along, another person came along and did karus, chopped it off completely, he's chayiv because he added a little bit. Even though he's already sorry, he can't have children beforehand.
But he did something else. He did something new.
You're right.
Over here in this series,
So the Rishonim ask it. The Rishonim discuss if that's the case. According to the Rambam, you have to do something new. It's a discussion. It's a very good point. It's a discussion. Ve'elo, says the Gemara, bizaken. We're talking about an old man. He can't have children anyway, and therefore there's no sirus. There's no sirus by him at all, and certainly there's no sirus achar sirus. Ask the Gemara, V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, Hein hechziruni l'narusi. The guy just sent me an email, Aaron Strobel, sent me an email this morning. I wasn't going to answer him, but now that we're already having the sugya, that in Gittin, there's a remedy for somebody that has issues. And Rabbi Yochanan says, Hein hechziruni l'narusi. Actually, I tried it out and it worked. I became young again. So he's asking, what are these refuahs? I'm going to chazer again. A lot of these refuahs, the Marsha in Gittin of Samach Bay says that these are the refuahs from Shlomo HaMelech, and inserted and sprinkled throughout Shas. So here's one in Gittin. We had a bunch here in Shabbos Daf Kuf Yud. We had beforehand also. They're from Sefer refuahs from Shlomo HaMelech. Now, could you do it nowadays? No. The only refuah that we said back then that works is if a bone gets stuck in your throat, you could say certain words. But everything else, you're not allowed to even try because we don't know the measurements, we don't know the chemicals, we don't know anything. So you're going to try it and it's going to be a chil Hashem. You're going to say, it doesn't work. Fine. That's to answer Aaron. But Akopanim, you see that even a zaken could come back and have children. So you're not allowed to be Messiah's zaken. Says the Gemara, believe it or not. When the Mishnah says you're not allowed to drink Mei Ikarin, it's not even talking about a man, Ela B'isha. And the Gemara stays with that. We're talking about a woman. She's not allowed to drink it because it's for refuah. No, on Shabbos, she's not allowed. We're talking about Sunday and Monday now. On Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, during the week, it seems from the Mishnah, you're not allowed to drink this on Shabbos. Oh, only on Shabbos you're not allowed to drink it, but on the rest of the week you're allowed to. But what about the problem of not making yourself an akar? We're talking about a woman, she doesn't have a problem. That she also has a chiv of pruruvu. There's machlokes. Okay, if she doesn't have a problem with pruruvu, fine, I get it. She doesn't have sirus physically, and you're not ruining her mitzvah pruruvu. But if you're going to ruin her mitzvah pruruvu, ma'ikelim eimar, says the Gemara, according to that man, you have to say biskena inami ba'akara. So either we're talking about a woman, according to most people, or if you hold that a woman has a chiyuv of pruruvu, we're talking about an older woman who can't do pruruvu anymore, or an akara, or you could also say an akar. For the same price, you can say an akar. In other words, somebody who doesn't physically have the ability, you can't be oiker him, you can't be misaris him. He's not in the parish of Sirus B'chlal. All right? We're done with that sugya. So one of these sugyas that we could have probably spent 25 hours on, and in yeshiva I'm sure they spend weeks. Okay, next. Now we're in a new Masechta. New Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. HaChayshish b'shino, if somebody has a toothache, lo yigameya bohenes ha'chaymetz. You shouldn't swish around in your mouth some chaymetz, some vinegar. Why? Because it strengthens the gums. And everybody notices that you're doing it for refuah. You're not allowed to do something on Shabbos that has to do with medicine. If you're drinking it, and it's something that people drink, okay. But obviously you're doing it for refuah. So what do? One of the dips is this vinegar dip. You take your bread, you dip it in there, and you eat the bread. That you're allowed, we said you're allowed to eat bread. And if derech agav you had a refuah, that's not a problem. There's no chashash of shchikas samamanim. People are not going to say, oh, he's trying to grind samamanim, he's trying to make a refuah. He's eating normally. Hachayshish b'masnav, if he has pain in his loins, in other words, like right where the belt is, right under the ribs is the loins. So he has a little bit of pain there. Lo yasuch yayin v'chaymetz. So he shouldn't smear on vinegar and wine. Avol sachus hashemen, but he's allowed to use oil. Why? Because everybody uses oil all week long. People are using oil not for pain. Stam, they're using oil, not nowadays. So nowadays it would actually be asur. But in those days they're using shemen. So nobody realizes they're using shemen for your pain. However, veloi shemen vered, not this stuff called rose oil. I have no idea why I printed this out. Stam, I had extra paper. Rose oil, okay? The other picture that I saw had like Arabic words. I guess it's from that area of the world that they use it. I don't know if they even sell this in America, maybe. Probably, Amazon, whatever. Velei shemen vered, but not rose oil. Why? Because it's very expensive, and typically people don't really use it. Hold on a second. Jeff from Harrisburg. Zavroth, I read your email. Oh, here, both of them together. I see Lev. Shalom Aleichem, how you doing, Tzaddik? You should have a easy, smooth path to Yiddishkeit. Who else do we have here? Official Gross. Wow, he's a troublemaker. Next. Okay. Givaldik, and your Shverzan, Bodenheim. I said official Gross. He's sponsoring Amud Beis, all the Amud Beis for the next month. But he's fighting. He doesn't want to take it now because there's a bidding war. So now we have a fight. It's mamish. Everybody's mevated to the other one, and it's like the truth is they should both sponsor this month together. Okay. Says the Gemara. But if you're a prince, and it's normal for princes to use the shemen vered, sochin shemen vered, like you say, they could use it. Shekin darga lotzach b'chol. That's the norm. Reb Shimon Omer, Kol Yisrael b'nei melachim heim. So this is found throughout Shas, this concept. Kol Yisrael b'nei melachim. So what does it have to do with us so much? So all of Klal Yisrael are princes. Okay, but that's why it's less of a refuah. So the answer is, because Reb Shimon holds, once it's mutter in this category for princes, then it's mutter everywhere. We're all princes. You can't stop being mechalik, and therefore it's mutter. Fine. Ramele Barach Ariko, the tall Ravacha asked, Duhu Ravacha bar Papa. He's Ravacha, the son of Papa. The Rebavo, person has a toothache, should not take in this vinegar. Obviously, you're doing it it's going to help you. It's going to get rid of your toothache. Like vinegar to your teeth and smoke to your eyes, which is bad. That's how the pasuk continues. Kena otzel, lazy person is like vinegar to your teeth. Lazy is not good. Vinegar to your teeth is not good. So what are you telling me that vinegar is good? Loi kashia. Habikiyu de peri. We're not talking about vinegar. We're talking about immature grapes. They're not good for your mouth, but they're called vinegar. Habachala, but over here, which we're talking about vinegar, that is good for your teeth. Another pshat is habachala, talking about vinegar. Hadikamaka. If there's a wound, so it's good, it strengthens the gum. Hadlakamaka, if there's no wound, ikamaka masi, it heals, lekamaka mirapi, it could loosen the teeth by strengthening the gums too much, then the teeth become loose. Now it says in the Mishnah, if you just read the simple words in the Mishnah, you shouldn't drink vinegar on Shabbos. But it says, you shouldn't spit it out. The problem is the spitting out. The problem is not drinking it. It seems like you are allowed to swallow it. So why does the Mishnah say you're not allowed to swallow on Shabbos? We have to say that he's spitting it out in our Mishnah. You have to add that extra word. Rava Amar, afilu tema megameo boilea. No, you could say that he's swallowing the vinegar. Kan lifnei tibul, kan la'achar tibul. It's very normal for people, especially in those days, to dip things in. You see it, the Arab nations, we do menagev, betchina, it's a lot of dipping going on. So if you're before the Suda, it's obvious that's part of the Suda, so it's mutter. Kan la'achar tibul, once you're done, then why are you messing around with this vinegar? Obviously, you're doing it for refuah. So Rava is mechalik between before the Suda and after the Suda. Very interesting that the Gemara over here picks on Rava and comes up with this new concept. We had it once before, even in the Masechta, but it's a big concept. V'neima middle of neitibul shari. It's the concept of hoyel. Hoyel. Anybody remember where we had it? Hoyel? No, I shouldn't have asked because I don't remember either. Let me think. Hoyel. Whatever. No, we just had it. I'm not getting 25 emails. It's on the chat already. If you guys remember, put it on the screen somewhere. Somebody yell it out. What? This is the humility of Eliyahu. I know it. Of course I know it. I'm just pretending. Yeah. Oh, see, today you came with your Taisus Kashas. Gewaldig. Very good. So he knows that it's a Taisus Kasha, but he wants me to point it out. So I'll point it out. The teretz is he's asking good. Why if there's an afghan between before tibul and after tibul, so the Mishnah should say that before tibul you're allowed to, before the meal you're allowed to. So the answer is because it's not the norm. The norm is to dip it in your bread. So that's why. But Yishkoyach, I know the Taisison. I just there's not enough time. Okay, fine. But we missed you. Noam, this is Noam. Noam with the second Rishon Kasha today. Baruch Shekivanto. All right. Ayin Taisis Dibo Maskul Kitna Nami Masnisan. Ela Urcha de Milson Okat. Says the Gemara. But Yishkoyach, no, because now it looked good. Because a second ago I forgot about Toyel, and now I knew the Taisis. So it's gonna. Thanks. That, by the way, that's Daddy Kornbluth's job usually, but he's not here anymore, and he doesn't yell out on Zoom. He used to point out these. I don't understand, but like he just wanted me to say it a little better. But I love you, Daddy Kornbluth. Shalom. Says the Gemara, oh, fine. Frag the Gemara, at the end of the day, they should be the same exact, like the svar that we said in the Mishnah about Reb Shimon. All people are the same. You can't start differentiating between categories. You can't start differentiating between different times of the day. This melacha on Shabbos is asur before. This melacha on Shabbos is mutter after, whatever. After is asur, before is mutter. What's going on? So the Gemara says like this: we're talking about going to the mikveh on Shabbos or Yom Kippur. Are you allowed to go to the mikveh on Shabbos? Yes. I'm fixing my body. I had a body that was broken. It's full of tumah, and now I went to the mikveh and I just fixed it. It should be misakin manim, misakin adam. And the answer is because people don't realize. They think that you're going into the mikveh to cool yourself off. So that works well on Shabbos, but in Kippur that doesn't work. Nobody's going to think you're going to the mikveh to cool yourself off because it's usher to go to the mikveh to cool yourself off. So on that we have the concept of hoyel. Hoyel that it works on Shabbos, it works on Yom Kippur. It works. So Mela, what? So by us also we should say hoyel. Hoyel, and you're allowed to eat, you're allowed to dip it in before the meal, so you should be allowed to dip it in after the meal. You can't start differentiating. If on Yom Kippur you're allowing a guy to go to the mikveh because it has to be similar to Shabbos, and Yom Kippur is never more chomer than Shabbos and all malachas, so too over here, if it's mutter before, it should be mutter after. The concept of hoyel. Hoyel. Hold on. I just had it. And what, the concept of hoyel? Of course we say, we have it on Yontif. We just had it, that's where it was. On Yontif. We had it on Yontif. Oh yeah, if you're allowed to cook, we had it by burning stuff. If you're allowed to cook, you're allowed to cook on Yontif, so you're allowed to also burn the fire. So we had another completely different melacha. What was it? And Taisus brought the oil. You don't remember? No. He proves from there that you're allowed. You're allowed to build a house. That's what it was. I'm serious. I didn't remember. Baruch Hashem. You're allowed to build a house on Yontif. I remember you liked that halacha. You're allowed to build a house on Shabbos. Why? Because one of the melachas of eating is baina, megabetz, cheese. Making cheese is baina, and hoil. You're allowed to do it for food. You're allowed to build a house if your house falls down on Yontif. Fine. That's where we had oil. So this concept of hoil we have a lot in Shas and here, but here it is in the Gemara. Hoil de b'Shabbos shari, b'Yom Kippur nami shari. Says the Gemara, Hodebe Rava Mahach. Now you already think that I really did know, and I'm.
Just finished the first chapter of Gary.
Chapter 1. No, you know how many chapters there are? They just weren't written. Zog the Gemara, Hodebe Rava Mahach. Says the Gemara, you're right. Hoil is such a strong concept that it must be that over here he took it back. He doesn't hold that there's a difference between before the meal and after the meal. He holds like a baya. That what? We're talking about he swallowed the chaymetz. We must say that our Mishnah is talking about he not only put it in his mouth, but he spit it out. Upoilet. In our Mishnah, he spit it out. But if he actually swallowed it, it would be mutter. So Rava had to have a charata. Says the Gemara, but we have two things. We have a problem of hoyel, and we have his pshat over here. So who said which one he had charata from? Maybe he went away from the concept of hoyel. So the Gemara the Sanya kol chayav tefillah is tovdim kedarkam bein b'tishabav bein b'yom kippur. That's a brisa. He has to figure out the brisa. The brisa says you're allowed to go to the mikvah on Tisha B'av and Yom Kippur. By the way, we don't do that anymore. But on Tisha B'av and Yom Kippur, halachically you're allowed to. Obviously, he has to explain because it's hoyel. If on Shabbos it's mutter, so too on Yom Kippur it's mutter. Says the Gemara, Hachayshish b'masnav, if a person has pain in his loins, so going back to not the loins, but going back to the halacha of the rose oil. Rose oil, says Reb Shimon, we're all b'nei melachim, we could all use rose oil. So, and says the Gemara, Omer Rabbi Zavda, Omer Rav, who we had yesterday, was nifter, and because he was nifter, they made a gzeira that you're not allowed to do the bells for the whole year. Who happens to be the only Amoira that is able to argue in Tanaim, because he was right there at the borderline of Amoira and Tanaim. Rav Tanahu Palik. So Rav says, halacha ki Reb Shimon. Where? In rose oil. Everybody can use rose oil on Shabbos. As the Gemara, the Rav ki Reb Shimon Tzvilei, and Rashi says here, in all of Hilchas Shabbos, according to one lashon, Tosfos likes that lashon, all of Hilchas Shabbos. It seems like Rav is going to pass like Reb Shimon in everything. In other words, Davar Shenim Miskaven, v'chulu v'chulu. But by the way, Sirus is Davar Shenim Miskaven. Do you have Davar Shenim Miskaven in all of the Torah besides Shabbos? Absolutely, like we had that a Nazir Chayfif Roshoi, even though some of his hero come out Davar Shenim Miskaven, Saras Davar Shenim Miskaven, fine. V'omer Rav Shimi Bar Chiya Mishmei the Rav, Hai Misachraya Den Aziyaso. If you you have a faucet, a spigot that's dripping, you could put in like some sort of shmat in there. And it's full of wine. You can take it out. Osur lahaduke b'yom tov. You're not allowed to tighten it on Yom Tov. Why? Because when you tighten the piece of cloth, the shmata, wine is going to come out. That's schita. What's the problem with schita? So Tosfos brings here either it's melabin, it's you're washing clothing, you're making it from red to white, or it's mefarek, you're separating two things like the kernel from the shaft. It's awesome. Fine. But Rav says that you're asur lahaduke b'yom tov. And what does Reb Shimon hold? Mutters, davar shenim miskaven. You're allowed to. Says the Gemara, Bahi, Afilu Reb Shimon Moed. By the way, remember we had a Tosfos, Darach brought the Tosfos that you're allowed to. It's even mutter because davar shenim miskaven v'lo nichale. That was the sugi of davar shenim miskaven. He doesn't want the wine to spill out. He's going to waste wine on the floor. Bahi, Afilu Reb Shimon Moed. Why does Reb Shimon agree that it's asur? The Bible of the Amateur value, by the Reb Shimon Psikreisha v'lo yamos, the famous Psikreisha v'lo yamos, where you're going to chop the animal's head. V'lo yamos, he's not going to die. If it's 100% he's going to die, then Reb Shimon admits that it's asur. So too, if you're going to squeeze it, obviously 100% wine is going to fall out, and Memela he agrees that it's asur. Okay, but here's the problem. How can you say that Rav holds like Reb Shimon? Over here we have in the name of Chia Barashi, Omar Rav. Rav says Mefurish, halacha Reb Yehuda. In what? In this halacha of davar shenim miskaven, he holds like Reb Yehuda. Rav Chanan bar Abba Shmuel halacha Reb Shimon. That Shmuel holds like Reb Shimon, Rav holds like Reb Yehuda. So he doesn't hold like Reb Shimon davar shenim miskaven. Rav Chia bar Abba masni lo beloy garver. There's no middleman. It's mefurish. Rav Amar halacha Reb Yehuda. Rav himself, not his Talmud. He himself said, I pass like Reb Yehuda when it comes to davar shenim miskaven. Ushmuel amar halacha Reb Shimon. Akopanim, you see that Rav is mechulek on Reb Shimon. Says the Gemara El Amarava, Ani varisha b'chabura, me and the lion in the group, Targimna, we explained it. Umar, who's the lion? Reb Chia bar Oven. Halacha ki Reb Shimon v'loy metamei. Rav holds like Reb Shimon that you're allowed to use this rose oil, but not because of Reb Shimon's reason. My halacha ki Reb Shimon v'lav metamei. What does that mean? Ilay ma halacha ki Reb Shimon d'shari v'lav metamei. The ilu Reb Shimon savar masi. Reb Shimon holds that rose oil actually works. It's effective. So why does Reb Shimon hold? If it's effective, you're not allowed to use it on Shabbos. Because Reb Shimon holds with that svara that if it's mutter for princes to use because they use it every day and nobody's going to think that it's for refuah, so they can use it on Shabbos. Once they use it for Shabbos, hayil, then everybody can use it. I'm not saying hayil, whatever. I just stuck that in, but maybe on that idea. And Rav Savar loy masi, the exact opposite. Mamish the opposite. Hafuch al hafuch, but they come up with the same outcome. Reb Shimon says it's effective, but since a prince uses it during the week, he can use it on Shabbos. And if he uses it on Shabbos, the whole Klal Yisrael can use it on Shabbos. Loy plug. Very good. Loy plug is better. Rav says the exact opposite. Rav says it's not effective. And if it's not effective, you're allowed to use it on Shabbos. Any refuah that's not effective, you can use on Shabbos. V'lav mitamei. They came to the same conclusion. He passing like Reb Shimon that you're allowed to use rose oil. V'lav mitamei for completely different reasons. V'savar Rav lo'masi. Wait a minute, that can't be. The Rav is mechulek on everybody. It says mefurish in the Mishnah that a prince uses it. Miklad masi. There's no argument on that. Elo halach Reb Shimon d'shari v'lam tamei dilu Reb Shimon savar afal gav d'li shchiach shari. Reb Shimon is going to hold, even though typically people don't really use this, loy plug. Since a prince uses it, loy plug, everybody could use it. Rav savar, no. Ishchiach in. If it's normal for that community to use rose oil, then nobody's going to suspect him to be using a refuah on Shabbos. Then you're allowed to use it. So he wasn't saying a blanket halach that you're allowed to use rose oil. He said, in my community, you're allowed to use rose oil for a different reason than Reb Shimon. What? We said that. No. He does. He is mechalik. Only Reb Shimon is not mechalik. Only Reb Shimon is not mechalik between communities. Everybody else is mechalik between communities. That we had many times. If it's normal to eat this, then it's this. If you don't, it's not normal. Hadrun aloch shmona shrotzim. Hadrun aloch shmona shrotzim. Hadrun aloch shmona shrotzim. Ve'elu ksharim shechayavim aleim. Now we're moving on to tying knots. Knot number 1 is a camel knot. Kesher hagamolim, v'kesher hasaponim, the knot in a ship. They're basically identical. They're just two different items, but they're identical knots. Now what? Well, the Gemara is going to explain what exactly it is and where it is. Ukeshem shu chayav al kishuron, kachu chayav al heteron. Just like it's usher to make a knot on Shabbos, it's usher to undo a knot on Shabbos. Now, everything that we say is usher to do on Shabbos is because in the Mishkan it was usher. So we had a sugya, and it's very... In the Mishkan, we did it. And Memela, it's usher for us, thank you. Wow, he pays attention, Gary. Woo, pshee. Wow. You learning now the Shabbos? What's going on? So look at this Rashi. I was shocked by this. Not shocked, it just gave me a new understanding of a sugya we learned a while ago on Daf Ayin Daled. The whole sugya in Klal Gadol, the Mishnah in Klal Gadol, 39 malachas. You'll remember this. It's very obvious what this is. It says in Rashi, I'll remind you the Gemara here. The Gemara says, where in the Mishkan did they do any ties? So the Gemara started off saying, in the Yeriyos. When they did the Yeriyos, but the Gemara said, but they never undid it. So the Gemara says, you're right. It's the Chilazon. By the Chilazon, Rava says, they tied it and untied it. They kept on making larger nets, right? So I'm going to ask you a question. Where do you see tying in the Mishkan? What's the answer? And that's how we learned it then. You see tying in the Mishkan by Chilazon. Wrong. Says Rashi, look at this. Right, the first Rashi in the Perek. You learn tying from the Yeriyos. Where do you learn untying? Next Rashi, or two Rashis weiter. From Chilazon you learn untying. Unbelievable how he learns in that Gemara. In other words, I mean, now that I see this Rashi, I understand it a little better. Yeriyos is like the main thing in the Mishkan. They were doing it all day long, and it kept on. But that's a problem. It doesn't have heter. So that you have to go to Chilazon. Very, very interesting. You have to come all the way to Daf Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Beis to understand Pshat and Daf Ayin Daled Amud Beis. Says, Kachu Chayav Alater Remeir Oimer Kol Kesher Shu Yochel Lahtiroi Bachas Miyadav. Anything you could do with one hand, Ein Chayavim. That's not considered a knot. And we're going to see different knots. I'll just tell you real quickly. I mean, tomorrow we're going to go into more. If a knot, the time you're only over on tying is if the knot lasts forever. Kesher Shukayama. So if it lasts forever, there's no argument. That's a Kesher Shukayama. Yechayiv in deraisa. If it lasts for one day, there's no argument that it's mutter. Yeah, tying your shoes, tying your this, whatever it is, 100% mutter. The question that we're going to have is, what if it's 1 week, 2 weeks? Rashi says a lashon of like 1 week or something. So you have to. That's what we're going to discuss. The Rabban or not, but we have the two extremes. La'olam is deraisa. 1 day is 100% mutter. Says the Gemara, my kesher. And Rameir says that if you can undo it with one hand, it's fine. My kesher gamolam v'kesher safanim. What is this? Ilay mekitra dekatri bizmama, v'kitra dekatri b'stadia. So basically, if you're talking, let's talk about the camel. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You have two knots here. You have the red. This red guy, the nose ring, is a knot. There's a knot here somewhere. And that stays in the camel forever. That's a kesher shekayama. What happens is, when I tie the camel to my post, I make another knot up here in the blue. Oh, he's showing it. Don't go on it yet. But that blue is a kesher she'ena shekayama. I undo it every time I want to undo I could undo from here, or can I undo it here? The ship makes a little bit more sense, to me at least. What happens is, they undo it right here, and they bring the whole rope in, and then they have to put the rope away. They're not going to leave the rope tied to this. So this knot comes undone all the time. Every time they move the ship, this comes undone. Yeah, Givaldik. So you have the red and the blue. The red is Shel Kayama, lasts forever. This never moves off the ship, but this constantly comes off. Says the Gemara, Eli mekitru the kachab mama v'kitru the kachab is turida haikesh shein shekayamu. If it's the blue one, that's not a kayama, comes off all the time. Ella, we're referring to kitra, this mama gufe, the actual nose ring, with the istrida gufa, and that whatever you call it, the istrida on the ship, that lasts forever. What if you make a tie, like a tie, a real tie that you can undo like this? Says the Gemara, and the Gemara remains in a teiku that what? Time of the Remeir Mishum the Yochalat Tiribachs who I can undo it with one hand. I could schlep my tie like this and it becomes undone. Time of the Remeir Mishum the Mahadik, because it's not tight. Mahadik, but a tie is very tight, and therefore it's aser teiku. So we don't know. Says the Mishnah, Yesh l'chok sharim she'in chayov maleim kikesher hagamolim kikesher asapan. So it's a very interesting lashon. The Gemara is going to jump in, explaining immediately what it means. There are ties, knots that you do that you're not so chayiv on it. You're a little bit chayiv. Only the rabbananish. Kosheres isha miftach haluka, and here the Mishnah brings a whole bunch of different things that are 100% mutter to do, which is, if it's a continuation, it doesn't make any sense. So the Gemara is going to say there's a period. Stop. New chapter. A woman who has two ways to tie, she takes the left side and ties it to the right shoulder, and she ties it to the left shoulder, but she has to undo it every single day, so that's 100% mutter. We discussed the svacha extensively. It's like this, like a snoot almost that goes under her hat, but it has two strings in the back that make it tight. Vishal psikya, it's a type of a belt. Here's a psikya, a larger belt, has, again, something she's going to undo every day, or he. Exactly. Urutsuis, minol, shoelaces, v'sandal, or a sandal. V'noides yaim v'shemen. And if you tie the top of the what is it called? The who? Canteen. Great. I told you, Avi, we were learning, I remember where, in Chulin, and we're talking about tuna fish, and you jumped up and you said, the tuna that jumps out of the water, you explained it. And I'll never forget that. And now I'll never forget canteen. Every 2 years, you jump up and you say something. Givaldik. Hopefully it's every week. Canteen, thanks for the help. Nobody else said it, and he said it. Yishkoyach Avi Gargir. Ugder shel basar, and the same thing. If you want it, you don't have a lid on your pot, so you tie some whatever to the top. You make a little string, and now the animal can't go out. Ask the Gemara Gufa Kashya. I got to slow down. We have a minute left to eat. Ha Gufa Kashya. Amris yes ksharim sheichayom aleim kikashagam molim. No, but I'm throwing everybody off on YouTube because now it's on the slow speed, and it's going to be real fine. Yes ksharim shein chayom aleim kikashagam molim kikashas safanim. It seems like there's things that are not 100% dos, they're abanon, and then it keeps on going. I'll give you an example. Like a woman's miftach haluka. But those are 100% mutter. So what's going on here? It's mutter. Says Gemara Chika Yesh ksharim she'in chayav malem kikesh agam malem kikesh asaponim umayniu kitra the katra bizmama v'kitra the katra biztadra. So now the Mishnah is talking about this guy. There's one that's a kesher shekayama that's aser, and there's one that's a kesher she'enei shekayama that's, it's not so gishmak, it's a shtickle aser. The Rabbanish. Now, chiyuv deleko isurika. It's also in the Rabbanan. V'yeshu mutar l'chatchila. Nachman, get ready here. V'yeshu mutar l'chatchila, and the sum that it's 100% mutter to tie on Shabbos, umayniu, kosheres miftach haluka, and the whole list of things that the Mishnah brings, like the woman's blouse. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.